Greetings, pro wrestling fans, and thank you for joining us at the Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm sitting here with
Donovan, and it is Donovan. Don't mind my voice, I'm a little sick.
Sick, under the weather, not feeling the greatest, but you're here. We made it.
Yes.
We're here. Episode 64 of the Roundtable.
Boom, boom.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick. I think I said that already, but just in case you forgot, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at PW LookBack. Follow, like, subscribe, share, comment, DM, PM, any other form of message that you can send. Send it our way. Let us know if you like the show. If you want to send us an email, it's prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com is where you can do that. Don't forget, check out teespring.com/prowrestlinglookback. You can go get yourself a t-shirt, a mug, a sweater, all different kinds of stuff with the PWLB logo on it, and as well as a few other shirts. Hey, Don?
Sir.
Is it a work?
It is not a work.
It's not a work. If you're not already, hit up iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the 5 stars, leave us a comment. Like I always say, preferably a good one, but if not, I want to know what you think of the show, so leave your thoughts there. And don't forget Google Play as well. That one's kind of relatively new, so check it out there if that's where you listen to the show, or if not, check it there anyway. At Salsa is where you can find me, SCELSA.
And my Twitter is at JustDon44.
And at PW Lookback is the one that you want to follow, as well as ours. But that's the main one. Check it out at PW Lookback. And like I always say, guys, don't forget, check out the sponsor at Pure Oxide Premium CBD Oils. It's at Pure Oxide CBD on Instagram, pureoxide.com. They ship worldwide, no GMOs, no THC, lab tested, 2,500 milligram bottle, 5,000 milligram bottle, 3,000 milligram cream. They are on Instagram as well as at Justin.Brothers. That's the owner. You can get in contact with him and find out kind of the right product that suits you. Like I always said, like before, joint pain, anxiety, overall well-being, hundreds of positive reviews and feedback. Pure Oxide at Pure Oxide CBD and pureoxide.com. Once again, with all the stuff out of the way there, Don, aside from you not feeling the greatest, how are you doing?
Well, just trying to deal with this cold or whatever it is,
Well, you sound okay. You got the halls in, but it's
it's
okay. We'll battle through this.
Got the tea. Shout out to Tim Hortons,
Yes, for all the American listeners.
Yeah, I wonder what Americans think of Timmy's sometimes,
Well, the ones up top in the northern states, I think there's a few Tim Hortons flying. When I drove to New York in the summer, we definitely passed a Timmy's, and there was one in New York, and they're all over New York, but I guess,
like it is here.
No.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. But they're in Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania. I'm sure that there's Timmy's down there, but yeah, you start going more south and it's just, I just don't think coffee is as important to Americans as it is to Canadians. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like Canadians take their coffee pretty fucking seriously.
I think the Americans do too. Aren't they more Starbucks though? Like they have, isn't there more Starbucks over there than there are here? There's
probably more Starbucks, but Starbucks still has a certain type of client. Don't get me wrong, Starbucks serves everyone, but they have a certain type of clientele. And don't get me wrong, American listeners that are listening, let us know. I have no idea, but I feel like it's more of a Dunkin' Donuts kind of. That's more of a,
Yeah, there you go. I think you got it.
Less coffee shop little thing, more of a Dunkin' Donut, that kind of coffee shop.
Yeah.
But then again, Tim Hortons up here now is turned into fucking let's compete with McDonald's and serve everything under the moon. So
yeah,
it's wild, bro. I remember when they introduced sandwiches, and it was like we're gonna have sandwiches now, not just bagels and donuts. Mm-hmm. So that was a big deal. And then now they sell everything that there is under the moon.
No, not to stick on this too long. Funny
Coffee
story.
And donuts.
Though. I was in a Timmy's last week or a couple weeks ago, and it trips me out a little sweets and shit they have. Like Nutella stuffed fucking this. And
how about the donuts that look like flowers with the little...
Yeah. There was a Kit Kat stuffed something. I was
Are you
what
serious? Kit Kat donut? Wow, that actually sounds pretty good. But no, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's Nutella everywhere.
Nutella sticks. And
I think it's Nutella sticks. Don't they have those, what are they called? Oh my God, those, the Mexican, churro.
Churro? Probably.
No, but with Nutella inside them, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got all kinds of too many. I'm fucked. I go there and get a black coffee with a plain donut and sometimes a plain bagel, and that's how interesting I am.
Chief Wiggum?
Yeah, basically. Oh my God, Don. There you go. Yeah, Chief Wiggum. No, I just like a good plain donut. Dip that bad boy in a black coffee, and it doesn't get more old school than that. Maybe I need to go to Dunkin' Donuts, but
With that stash too, you got the real cop vibe.
yes, I am still growing the mustache. It is still Movember, so it's it's still here. But
I tried, but I couldn't.
You got one there. You pulled it off.
I did for a bit, yeah.
Well, it's still there. I mean, you got the chin coming in too, but
Yeah.
you still got a stash there hiding behind that microphone. So I guess this week we might as well let everybody know what we're getting into. Kind of Survivor Series fallout. We'll give our major reaction points and stuff from Survivor Series. A little bit of NXT Takeover, probably not as much. I want to go more into Survivor Series with you, and then some of the fallout. I've got some questions for you, like maybe next opponents for Brock, maybe possible Royal Rumble winners. I don't know if it's too early to get into that conversation, but maybe we can later. And then maybe a little bit of AEW, totally up to you. And potentially some Raw.
Yep.
And then we'll get into the F1 update at the end of the show, just again, smaller one, and we'll have the larger one next week with myself, Will, and Phil. But yeah, what else is going on, man, before we dive into it?
Well, this is totally off the topic of like
Coffee?
pro wrestling and Chief Wiggum. But
Okay.
I was just thinking, me and you were talking off pod, like I think it was last week or potentially the week before in one of our random phone calls.
Yeah, I got to start recording those.
Just don't tell me.
Well, yeah, I got to get like an audio, like a portable phone. I don't even know if that's a thing that I can record myself on the phone while I'm having somebody on the phone.
There's got to be some kind of app even, I think.
Maybe, yeah. But I just, because, bro, we end up having 45-minute conversations that I could put in. Like, they don't, it's not like I equate them to be equal to some of these podcasts. Not that they're the best shows in the world, but I feel like these shows are a little more organized than some of those conversations, and we could drop them in and just say, this is the weekly take from Don.
For sure.
But anyway, sorry.
It was on the, me and you talk a lot about music.
Mm-hmm.
And, today's sound being like so different, and I don't know, the sound that you like to listen to.
That's my album. It's by myself, solo.
That sound?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
And I was thinking, like, I know there's not a lot of newer stuff that comes out that you are too keen on.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's almost across the board, not even just in hip-hop, but anyway.
True. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, throw another one at me, just for example. Like,
genre?
yeah. Like,
I can't remember the last new rock album I've listened
yeah.
to, or recently, like, very randomly, but recently I've been listening to Killswitch Engage, and everything I've been listening to is from 2006 and 2005. So
you didn't end up checking
Not yet, no.
Okay.
And it might be because of the new album. That might be part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about this on here, I guess, or too long. But even the Game album coming out, like the fact that it's so new, I'm hyped. Don't get me wrong. I'm super excited, and I hope the album's amazing. I mean, it's released today. If you're listening to the roundtable the day that this is coming out, but I'm not. This is the least Game album that I'm hyped for, and it's not because I don't think it's going to be a good album. You can't control hype in your own, and I'm waiting for it to come out. I think. Whereas like when Jesus Piece came out, or Red Album, like I was, and don't get me wrong, again, I'm gonna buy it first day, but I was there. I was at the Best Buy. I was at the record store. I was buying those albums like the day they were released, and I was waiting weeks on end for them to come out. As I am with this one, it has a different feel. So yeah, back to your point, current 2019-ish music, I'm not as, I don't know, interested in, I guess.
Do you think any of that has to do with the, just on the topic of the Game album, any of that has to do with it being like, when you bought those, like, you probably went out and bought the hard copies.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Now, I don't even know if that will be available necessarily right away. You know what I mean?
It's a good question. I'm going to be going to the store this weekend to find out if there is a hard copy, because I'm definitely going to want that new Game album. But yeah, that's part of it, maybe. I can tell you, I remember exactly which store I bought both of those albums in. I'm sure that's part of it, because it's the memory that comes along with buying and listening to the album for the first time, as I equate that with going to the store and purchasing the CD. Yeah. So anyway, that was
the whole to bring it all full circle. All I was thinking is just that, like, I think sometimes it's where you hear what you hear, kind of thing. As in, like,
in what way?
For example, like, you've told me a story where maybe you'll be at work and the satellite radio, you you flip it on,
Yeah.
and it's, I don't know, Lil whoever, you know what I mean, and some weird ass.
Oh, you mean Lil whoever in the sense of Lil Pump or Little one of these new rappers that I don't know the name of.
Yeah,
sorry.
Maybe something like that, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, but I do feel that there's still music out there that I believe you would enjoy that is new.
That has
it just doesn't get the light as much because
of course
the limelight right now is on that type of music. Also, me and you, we're older now. I feel like the guys who make music for our crowd, like they're not in the
late
light
20s,
either.
mid 30s.
Yeah, like The Game, for example. Like he's not making music for
17-year-olds.
The same crowd as a Lil Pump or whoever.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But I think at the same time, and I don't know how much I want to talk about this either, but I think he's making, at this point, at least in my opinion, he's making music for him.
Yeah.
Which they all are all the time. You're an artist too. But I just mean, especially with where he is in his career, I think this album especially he's making this one for him and his fans.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe a different group. But I don't know. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Maybe you got to show me some of these new albums. Maybe I
got a couple of guys to
shine some light on them, and I'll check them out. But I gotta say too, before we dive too in it, I wanted to get this out on the show because I want to tell people, and we're not sponsored by any means. Are we sponsored by this company? But if anybody listens to audio and enjoys books, go check out Audible because I'm hooked on audiobooks right now, and I don't know if it's because like this new Star Wars movie's coming out in a month and a half, and I'm just trying to take in as much Star Wars knowledge as I can before this movie comes out. But yeah, I just wanted to take 2 seconds to kind of shout out Audible because I fucking love their service. It's incredible. And you can sign up. Again, this is not a plug by any means, but it's like you sign up for free, you get 2 books, and if you don't want to pay any money continuing after that, you cancel and you keep your 2 books.
True.
So it's like, it's not like Netflix or another service where, okay, you get a month free and then you cancel and then the month goes away and then you have nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like you come away with things even though you don't pay for anything. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good service and I love Star Wars and they have really, really good Star Wars books on there. So, but I'm done with the Star Wars trailers.
Oh yeah. I'm
done.
I have no need to see another.
Anytime I see anything on Instagram now, I might go unfollow like I did before Last Jedi, but it's a lot of work and I don't want to go through and find all the fucking Star Wars accounts that I follow and unfollow them.
Yeah.
But I'm done. Anytime I see any trailers, I just keep scrolling or TV spots or I'm going to go see the movie. I don't need to see what happens in the movie anymore at this point. Oh yeah. I'm excited. I have 7, 8 movies before it that are hyping me up to go see it. So I don't really think it's needed. Still playing that Jedi Fallen Order game. I like it a little bit more than I talked about last week, but it's good. It's enjoyable, but I'm coming around on it.
Your boy might be copping a PlayStation just now.
Really?
Yeah.
To get the game?
Just to get that. There's a few other. I want to mess with the Spider-Man. I wouldn't mind playing some NBA. I wouldn't mind messing around with some wrestling.
Don't get that new one, though.
This Black Friday. Oh yeah, true. Good point. Right?
Apparently, it wasn't very good.
It doesn't. Yeah. Oof,
but yeah, I heard the PlayStations are going pretty cheap.
So
the Black Friday. So check them out.
Your boy's thinking about it.
Hey, well, I got a ton of games over there you can borrow. So
there you go.
Don't worry. The only other thing I wanted to mention before we dive into Survivor Series is check out next week, obviously, episode 65. We're going to be doing the longer F1 stuff and the season finale of F1. But we're going to be dropping more championship lookbacks coming soon.
Yep.
And we're going to be dropping more of our previous, like we're going to have new roundtables, more lookback shows coming. But we're going to be re-releasing some of the episodes that are on YouTube that haven't been re-released onto iTunes. We apologize that they haven't been out as of late, but we try and get the roundtable at minimum out every week, no matter what, and then we're gonna get some more of these out. But
yeah, when we hit you, we're gonna hit you. Don't worry, we've been plotting and scheming on some stuff, and it's coming.
Donovan said it best right there.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we try and get this show out every week, so we always have something. But there's lots of things in the works behind the scenes happening with the Pro Wrestling LookBack.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned. But for now, Survivor Series, my friend. I don't want to go through it match for match here because I feel like it's not a look-back show, for one. And for two, I feel like we both said we want to make this episode a little bit shorter than normal. But maybe some of the best and worst moments we'll get into. Before I get into anything and talk about any specific matches, this card was so much better than I was expecting it to be.
Nice. Okay, good.
Like, I enjoyed this pay-per-view a lot more obviously, for anybody who listens to the Roundtable every week, than I was anticipating it going in. So I just had to say that right off the bat. I don't know if there's any little things that you want to get off your chest before I can give you some of the points I had, and then I know you said you've got some points as well. But
did you have a favorite match of the night?
Well, I don't know if we want to start there, Don. I mean, let's save that for the end of this segment.
Okay.
Let's build up to that. Let's get the listeners anticipated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, I just meant as far as like me, where I thought the show was much better than expected. Was there any one takeaway, one point that you said walking away when we finished the show or watching the show that night?
You know what, dude? I guess I'll speak on it more when we kind of get to it, but I was a little bit surprised at them putting the women on last, that triple threat match.
In a good way or a bad way?
Because
that was one of my
I have mixed feelings on it, even after like what we watched it, and you know,
it's one of my first points. So why don't we just dive right into it? Because that's one of the major points I had written down here is that they opened and closed this show.
Yeah,
just let me know. I can hit that mute button for you anytime.
Yeah, we'll get that going.
I don't think it's that bad anyway, but I can do it for you. They opened and closed this show with 2 women's matches. So they opened with the women's 5v5v5.
Yep, on the actual show, we're not talking about the pre-show.
Yeah, which is the norm, like I said, or have said in the past for the LookBack show. We don't typically cover the pre-shows. And they're not on the DVD, and if you go watch them on the network, it's a separate video. So to me, it's not the show.
Yeah.
So we're starting, I guess they opened and closed the show with the 2 women's matches, and you weren't a big fan of...
I didn't think about that, too. Like, I didn't put that into, perspective, really.
That it opened and closed that way?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that there wasn't any other matches on the card that definitively needed to be the final match on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you wanted to end the show with kind of the way that Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt match ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not exactly the most exciting end to a major pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Again, not that Shayna Baszler tapping out Bayley is either, but the way that it happened with Becky and the whole tables and everything, it did in the end. I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, the other match with Brock and Ray, again with Brock winning and it not being, necessarily something that the fans wanted, nor was it, I mean, that match was up there for moments of my night, but I don't know if it would have been a good one to end the show with.
I still think you could have. I'm not saying I would have, but I think you could have.
You could have, and it would.
You could have done it with Brock.
I just feel like this would have been a good thing because he's a heel anyway, but I just don't know how much more you need it. But I feel like you would have had a lot more negative heat, whatever you want to call it, from the fans if that was the last thing they saw. It was, Brock again, Jesus, man, okay. All right, thanks, W. Like, at least that wasn't like how they sent the crowd packing home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to open with the women, I just thought it was interesting because you really got to spread out these 2 5v5v5 matches.
Yeah.
Because not only have they now introduced women having those matches, but now they've introduced NXT, so it's 5 more people, and it's a lot of friggin' people flying around. Did you enjoy? Well, I guess I can get a couple of your thoughts on that one. I don't remember much of the stuff as far as against spots or anything, but the women's match itself, the 5v5v5. Did a pretty good job. I cared way more about these matches watching them than I did going in. I could say that much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what I thought in my head? I can bring it up now, actually, too. This is kind of one of my major points, I feel like, of the main event. I was going to say it to you during the I totally forgot about it after because we watched the Undertaker thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that, too. I guess we could talk about that in between Survivor Series and Takeover, maybe.
I thought the reason they were closing... I thought somewhere along the lines that maybe Ronda's gonna come here.
Yeah,
that's what I didn't say it to you because I didn't want to like.
No, but you said that to me the next day.
Oh, did I?
I think no. You said it to me afterwards, after the fact, and you were like, I was really thinking Ronda was gonna come.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
But when I watched I don't know if it was on the Monday. I think it was Monday before Raw actually, because the pay-per-view was on the network. And they mentioned Ronda. Like Michael Cole mentioned, and I was thinking like, wow, if I would have heard that, I might have thought something. But I didn't catch them even bring up the fact that, Shayna Baszler is Ronda's good friend and that kind of stuff. I might have been thinking that too, but I got to be honest, it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
And not for a negative reason. It's just,
That's what I was thinking, like going into it. I'm like, you know what? Shit, Ronda might show up. And then even to go to the end of the match, I was still kind of under the impression that maybe she might get him, pop up.
Pop up like when? You're thinking after Shayna wins with the tap out and she's celebrating on top of the table. We got to talk about that. How shocked were me and you for a few moments?
Yeah.
When we looked at the TV and we're going, they're closing the show with Shayna Baszler celebrating on top of the table? I was shocked by that. And then obviously we got what we got with Becky. How did you feel about that? Becky's reaction at the end of this match.
I like it for the fact if we're gonna still revisit this in the near future.
Shayna
in
and
the
Becky?
near, and I mean in the near future,
like in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
something.
Or maybe like
Rumble
soon. Yeah, like very soon.
I being a massive Becky fan, I wasn't massively a big fan of this. Being such a big Becky fan, jeez, I can't even speak. I just thought it was a bit of an overreaction from her, like from her character.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like, whoa, like, okay, I don't know why you need to freak out, right? Like, I know you lost and everything, but it wasn't like she cheated or anything. Like, you were on the outside of the ring. She made Bayley tap out. You weren't the one that lost. That all being said, I know why they did it. They did it because they want Becky to be the one to close the show, which I'm not opposed to. But, I mean, the fact that they gave Shayna that spotlight in the first place was a big deal.
Yeah, I thought maybe Bayley would have been the one to take this match.
Really?
Yeah, going into it, I don't know why.
Did you say that in the preview show, I think, too? Or I'm trying to... We didn't do a legit preview show this
No, I definitely
year.
said it to you over the phone.
I was going to say, because I remember you saying Bayley to me, and me not really being on the same page as you. But, the show itself, it wasn't overly long, like some of the other shows. Like, it was 5, I think, hours, but it wasn't like some of these 7-hour pay-per-views. Like, if we go back and watch Survivor Series 17 and 18, and I bet you they're a lot longer than this show.
Yeah, see, this is another thing on the point of the main event. I don't know if it helped or hurt the women, but I feel like even me as a fan watching, like, I wasn't fully as tuned in as I was earlier in the night, but I don't know if that's because it was getting later and I'd already seen a lot. Like, a lot of things happen.
And a lot of people that you don't normally see interacting with each other. Like with the NXT.
And I feel like even the crowd kind of was showing that in this match a bit.
Yeah, I felt the crowd was, I don't know, they were pretty into this main event. I mean, compared to what we have seen in the past with crowds not being into stuff with, the Seth stuff we've seen lately. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just have kind of random points on this sheet that are not specific about any matches, but I just thought it not being overly long. Like, it was long, don't get me wrong, in the sense of a normal pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But for a Big Four pay-per-view, this wasn't a WrestleMania length or They've really cut down, I feel like, though, since WrestleMania this year and the Becky match being on at, like, wasn't it like 11:40 or something?
It was very late.
By the time the Becky Ronda Charlotte match happened at WrestleMania 35 this year. I think since then, and that whole, whether you want to call it a debacle, I don't think it was quite that bad, but whatever you want to call, ever since then, they've really tried, because even SummerSlam wasn't, like, when I was there, it was long, but it wasn't 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe, I don't know. But either way, it wasn't like WrestleMania.
Fuck. I think they should eliminate the fucking pre-show. I know they probably won't anytime soon, but maybe keep it for, like, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need...
The pre-show, you mean?
Yeah,
in
we
general?
don't need this all the time. Like, it's a lot,
it's
man.
Just, dude,
it's a lot.
I think, like, I'd be curious to know how many people watch it. Because I think you could... What do you mean? What?
You know what I'm saying, though? It's like,
well, no,
every month?
Well, the reason I say that is because you still have to... Like, you could still do those matches for the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, do they have to be on air? And then if you talk about them happening and then people are asking, why aren't they on air? You know what I mean? It's a tricky thing because I get why they want to keep people wrestling. Like, they want to keep guys, you're paying these guys to be wrestlers and entertain people. Yeah. It's like, you might as well, They have signed 5,000 wrestlers in the last fucking 3 years. So that's a bigger problem I feel like we could probably spend a whole show on, to be honest, is the insane volume of wrestling. Or not wrestling, wrestlers right now.
What is it, 4 hours? Like, roughly, give or take?
What's
like
that? With
the pre-show plus the whole main pay-per-view, like, it's about a 4-hour show, typically.
Oh, no,
right?
with the pre-show, it's over 6 hours.
See, that's...
But
So,
I'm talking just the show, the main card.
are we speaking on WrestleMania or just in general?
I was talking about this like
one.
Survivor
Yeah,
Series.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this would survive. I don't know. The pre-show's 2 hours, but there's only 3 matches. Like
Still.
they talk in those. They talk in the you know,
It's
whatever they're called, TNT podium.
Yeah.
Presentation, whatever. Desks. Jesus.
What really brought it to my attention, I was listening to something, I don't remember what, and somebody had brought up like the Super Bowl, you know? And it's like they give us the Super Bowl every month with this long spectacle of a thing. If you're actually going to tune in and watch,
Yeah.
typically I don't. Like
No,
I'll
I
show
have
up
it
at
on.
Yeah.
We
and
had it
don't.
on. Shout out to Younger, who we haven't seen in forever. He
Mhm.
he was going to come on the show this week. He couldn't make it. And actually, we didn't talk about it at the beginning, but I hope Shane's doing okay. Our boy Shane was supposed to be coming doing our typical pay-per-view breakdown as we always do, but he had a bit of a mishap and he couldn't make it. So we hope you're doing well, Shane. I hope you're listening to the show. But sorry I didn't give you a shout out at the beginning of the show. It's coming now. But anyway, back to what we were.
Yeah, it's like this whole, you know, every month. Like if you did it for the big ones,
I totally
cool,
agree.
right?
Yeah, I
It's just
completely agree. Like I don't know. I don't mind having it on in the background, but if
Yeah.
I was tuning in to watch the pre-show, then that's a different story. I
Mhm.
have the luxury of 2 TVs and I can put my PlayStation on one and just have the pre-show in the background while I chill with a friend or whatever, you know what I mean? But to sit and watch those shows, yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah.
And that's a great point that I've never thought about. Is it takes away from the specialness, the speciality of having that on a big show.
Yeah.
Like a WrestleMania, like a Royal Rumble, like Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Like this one. But do we need
Like, do I need this next at TLC? Like,
2
no, I
hour
don't.
pre-show at
I
TLC?
don't.
Which I don't know if it'll be 2 hours. It might only be one. We should follow up on this.
Yeah.
But either way, I agree because it's unnecessary and it doesn't make it feel as special because you're doing it every friggin' month. But at least we're not getting 2 pay-per-views a month anymore. So
Yeah.
thank goodness for that. I want to go back and count how many pay-per-views there were in the year. I think it was it 2017 that they had that 2 a month?
I believe so, yeah.
I'd be curious. There was probably 24 pay-per-views that year because they were doing 2 a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's insane. Like it just doesn't even make sense. How about this one? This one deserves one of these, man. How about the no t-shirt bullshit
Yeah.
this year at Survivor Series? Thank you, WWE.
Yes.
Just straight wrestling gear with hints of colors. You know, a little hint of yellow and black here and some skulls or whatever and some red on the Red Raw team and a little bit of blue gear. Did we not talk about this last year and how they should do this?
Yeah, fuck. Finally.
I feel like we did. We definitely mentioned this on some kind of show that we were doing last year as far as why don't you just put purple, where's 205 Live, red and blue gear instead of wearing these stupid t-shirts. And
Yeah.
I have a feeling it was because they really didn't want to have yellow t-shirts out there as well. As much as they could have done the black t-shirts that they did on Raw and SmackDown, but I don't know. I'm happy, very happy. I want to praise them when I can because sometimes we get maybe a little too negative, and this is something that is not negative. I'm extremely happy with the way that they wanted to present that 5v5 men's and women's matches for that instance. How about, again, this is another one sticking with kind of both of the 5v5 men's and women's matches. How about them coming out to the theme music of their show?
Yeah, we we talked about this during the show.
Yeah.
A bit.
How we kind of had differing opinions on it.
Yeah, because so I missed the entrances of the women.
Yeah,
I walked in like right at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, I think honestly the bell had rang like 4 seconds before you walked in, so you missed the entrances.
Yeah, so seeing this during the men's match, I was like, oh,
this is different.
I get it though. Like when I think about it in the grand scheme of things too, because like each guy to have an entrance, it can be quite a lot, especially for 3 teams of 5 guys, right?
Take
up a lot of time.
I was more just curious as to why you don't like it.
I like entrances of people, you know.
That's
but
fair.
it would be a lot. Like,
well, that's what
fairness.
I think that was part of it. 15 entrances,
Yeah.
and I hate when they cut people's entrances off and they're halfway down the ramp.
Yep.
And we're playing somebody else, especially to have somebody like Randy Orton. He's halfway down the ramp. We just cut his music off and play whoever's. It was also on the team. I really liked this. Like, I noticed it right away, and I was like, this makes it feel like some teams, some brand pride here. And I hope it's not going to happen, but I hope we have brand pride all year. So then next year when we get to Survivor Series, it all matters, and it feels like, Roman is a SmackDown guy.
Yeah.
And Randy is, unless whatever shake it up happens before then, Randy is a Raw guy, and whoever else, Drew. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It just made me feel like, okay, this is the Raw team. This is the song that I'm used to hearing every Monday night when I tune into Raw. Again, you mentioned that too, me and you talking about it. You don't always watch the shows right from the beginning. You're catching highlights. You're skimming through sometimes, right? So you may or may not hear these songs as frequently as I hear them.
I feel like the SmackDown one I'm a little more familiar with than the Raw
the
one,
ACDC,
for sure. Yeah.
And because it's so new, I would imagine as well, right? And I feel like they brought back the Raw song when they switched over to SmackDown when it was the new season and they changed the Raw set and they did all that.
Yeah.
Because they were rolling for almost a year with no song for like maybe 8 months or something like that. Because I remember first time of the night, Wade Keller talking about it and me noticing like, I missed the beginning of Raw and having, whether it was Nickelback or whoever it was, I missed the intro music. So
didn't Nickelback do the song once?
They did, yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's why. That's why I said it, because even Nickelback was enjoyable as a Raw theme song. But I just thought, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. I thought they did a really good job in the sense that these are teams. Let's have them all come out together as a team, representing their show.
Yeah.
But I think the main reason, even more than that, is what you said, and it's, we're not going to have 15 fucking entrance musics right now and watch 15 guys walk to the ring. But I don't know. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
That men's match was, there was sparks in it. Like, there was some moments, like the things that me and you, I don't think we're too big on, was kind of, someone getting in, like, we'll use Walter, for example, being in there. Here's your 2 seconds. Boop, you're out. Tag the next guy. Well, guess what? You're going out next because you just got tagged in. Do your little thing. Get out.
Yeah. Well, what did we say that night? We were like, get your offense in and get out or something, because it was the guys, whoever were about to get out, some of them would get, 30 seconds of offense and then they'd get knocked out. But how about, you mentioned him a little bit, Walter, man.
Yeah, man.
Bad, I don't know, timing, I guess would be the word here, because the fans were loving this guy, chanting Walter, Walter, Walter when he was coming out. And you'd think, like, I said this that night when we were watching the show, look who's in the ring. Like, that's 15 of the top guys in the company right now. And you got Chicago, one of the biggest, best wrestling cities that there is, chanting for Walter. And I, again, said to you during the show, they're not going to change this on the fly.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, well, they're chanting for Walter, so let's not have him go out first or second. Like, it's just bad timing, and it just sucks that that's the way that it worked for him. But I got to be honest with you, Don.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this match quite a bit.
Yeah, I think the sparks were good.
They made it really good. And I don't know if it's because my bar was, 4 centimeters off the ground, but I really came away from this men's match going, holy shit. This may mean fuck all in the grand scheme of WWE, and that's why I wasn't a fan going in. But coming out of this, that was an entertaining 40 minutes or 35 minutes, whatever it was, of wrestling. And that's, again, at the end of the fucking day. That's why we sit down and watch wrestling.
Yeah.
That and to talk about it later on the PWLB. But, I any other major things from you that
well, in that match, like, I really enjoyed the interaction with Riddle and Chad Gable. They had a nice little tie up. That's
incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. And this one here, I've never done this before, but this one's for WWE.
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been there before, but like you're taking your second step back into a larger world, because you can get some serious good shit out of these two guys if you let this. That's what I was thinking about at work this week. I don't know what day it was.
Yeah.
Just like that, I'm probably never gonna get this. Like, just a long feud between, because I You know what I mean? It's upsetting to me because everything's so big now, and I don't know if it's because we're coming out of Survivor Series and we're going into Rumble, but I just like smaller little single matches, feuds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we don't get a lot of that. Like, I don't know if we're going to get into it tonight, but I'm really into Randy Orton Ricochet right now, even though that may not be happening with the whole AJ Styles stuff. But on top of that, even more so, I'm super into this Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black storyline that they're starting on Monday Night Raw, and we will talk about it after. But how about the triple threat matches? They were both really good.
Yeah,
we talked about the women's one, but the men's Intercontinental, Roddy, Knock, AJ.
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed this one.
One of the best matches of the night, I think.
Yeah. Again, I was pretty surprised that Roddy.
Yeah, but he did it the right way, right?
Yep, definitely.
It was the right way in the sense that he was a heel. He did it the cheating type of way.
Yeah.
Well, not really cheating, kind of I guess taking advantage of, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about. I guess this isn't about the match itself, but how do you like the new belt, the IC belt? Because you weren't here, I don't think, to talk about it with me last week.
Yes, I do. I do like it. We
off air.
We made it.
I keep forgetting now what me and you talk about on the podcast and what we talk about in our weekly phone calls.
I like it because it's not bad. You know what I mean?
Oh,
if it was something bad, I'd probably be like, "Oh, what the fuck are we doing?"
At the same time, though, because you're right, it's not bad. It's okay.
Like, it looks good.
But is it anything special either? I don't think so, personally.
I think it adds a special element to it because it doesn't look like any of the other belts, which is nice because I think that's something that's kind of missing from the WWE.
Is the belts look too similar?
Yeah, like that North American title looks very different from any of the other titles on NXT, which is cool.
Absolutely.
So now think about our US title and our IC title. They look
they did look
different before, but it's a whole. I like it. It's a nice twist on it, and every now and then it's good. It's a good change.
The last three though of all, I just realizing this now. The last three have all been Circle championships though. The North American Championship.
Yeah.
The women's tag belts.
Yeah.
And then this one. They've all kind of been Circle plates.
Mm-hmm.
Again, doesn't really mean anything. I just realized that now because I find this one looks similar to the women's. Obviously, no white leather.
Yeah.
But it's similar. It doesn't have like the pointed edges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really good. And I was listening to another show and they brought up a really good point that I didn't even really think of at all. It makes perfect sense, as stupid as this sounds, maybe, that it's right before Christmas, man. Like, this is prime time if they want to sell some new belts around the holiday season. I mean, now's the time.
Yeah.
But it felt, as much as, again, we both like it, it just felt very out of nowhere. Like, why are we changing the belt?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they could have addressed that maybe differently.
Again, last time I'll do it tonight. But Wade Keller brought up, do you think they did it because Cody was the one that brought back the white belt?
No, not at all. No.
He was just kind of being a little, But I just had to bring
That's a good like.
Well, the funny part is that he was talking about his show. He's like, did that happen? He's like, is Cody the one that brought? And I knew.
Oh yeah.
Only because of you.
Yeah.
Telling me that you watched Cody bring it back. So I was sitting there listening, waiting for the other guy on the line, shout out Todd Martin, to do the research and say, yeah, he actually was the one that. And then I knew that, but. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. Maybe. I mean,
But no, it's a good change. I like it. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
And that classic one you could always bring back. You could bring it back again 10 years from now or some shit.
That's true.
You know what
I mean, you could bring back the Shelton Benjamin one too.
Yep.
Or whoever you associate that belt with, but I associate Shelton Benjamin. But yeah, overall, man, I guess pretty well built up card. The main event, I personally really enjoyed where they stuck that.
One more thing, not to jump too far back.
No,
but
dude, we've been all over the card, and this is a different kind of look back type night anyway, right? So
with the men's match, I like
the men's 5v5.
Yeah, another spark was definitely like the whole Keith Lee moment. You know what I mean? I actually like the fact.
Don't worry, buddy, it's coming.
I'm okay with him not winning it because like he still got good offense in. Like he still had big moments.
Yep. And he got the respect from Roman.
And he got the respect.
He got the head nod and the fist bump from Roman.
He did take out Seth. You know what I mean?
Oh fuck yeah!
And he was hanging in. Like it was just a cool moment where you felt like a guy kind of got
elevated. Elevated.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that. Well, I mean, there's no better time. I feel like than maybe now.
Uh-oh. Moments of the night.
Dun, dun.
Moments of the night.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, again, for anybody who hasn't listened to the LookBack Show, this is our Moments of the Night segment that we do in almost every LookBack on the LookBack Show, but we like to bring it into the roundtable sometimes when there's a major pay-per-view that we can provide our Moments of the Night. But I want to change it up a little bit, and I want to get your match of the night first, if it's different than the moment of the night.
Alrighty. Well,
if you're not ready, I have mine already ready to go, so if you want me to go while you think.
Yeah, give me yours first.
I can't believe I'm fucking saying it, dude. But
I know what you're.
My match of the night is the 5v5v5 men's Survivor Series match that I spent a month on this show talking about how I didn't give a fuck about it and I didn't care about seeing it. I said to you guys before we watched Survivor Series, I said I don't think I've been this least interested, whatever you want to say, in a pay-per-view since I've been watching wrestling. And I came out of the pay-per-view enjoying most of it. And I think I was maybe the most entertained as a whole. I know we talked about there was some stuff at the beginning that wasn't the best of that match. But as a whole, that was the most entertaining match to me of the night. I still have, again, my moments of the night. But as far as a whole match and selecting one that's my favorite, it's got to be that one. And I'm just, the reason I'm highlighting it so much is because of the fact that I really didn't think that I would like that match the way that I did. But
I like it. Good pick.
Thanks.
You know what, man? Honestly, not to nitpick and shit, I think if it wasn't for like a few little blunders I noticed in the match with Adam Cole and Pete,
which we didn't even talk about,
I would have picked that match. It's a like close one, but I'd probably, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with the triple threat
Roddy.
With Roddy and them. And it's because the way it ended, I was really surprised. I honestly thought AJ was just gonna be the one to
for sure
do that. Yeah.
Really?
Like I thought there was no.
You didn't think Nakamura had a chance?
No, I thought it was just I thought it was because in my mind too, I knew AJ was gonna be defending his title against Humberto coming up. Like that was already announced because.
Oh, is that still happening?
Well, no, they attacked him. Remember?
Oh, okay, yeah. My bad.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Excuse me.
So I was thinking, I'm like, oh, well, he's probably gonna win. He's not gonna get pinned. Like he didn't still.
No,
but
yeah.
I just didn't think. I didn't. In my mind, I thought NXT might come out on top of this, but I didn't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the ones where I thought maybe
Yeah, I definitely
give it to.
I agree. I agreed with the NXT because going in, I thought if I have to pick a brand that's going over here, it's NXT because we want more people to watch NXT, and then we can hopefully make this all mean something and matter. But yeah, I'm surprised with that, to be honest, with your pick.
What of that match?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
because again, I know we didn't talk about it, and might as well give it perfect time to shout it out now. But that match with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole was really good. I enjoyed it, and I don't know if it's because it was storybook wrestling, and it just, you know what I mean? It just, it was very. I don't want. This sounds negative because I don't mean it in a negative way, but like vanilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I like black coffee and plain donuts to bring it full circle, but I liked that match, and I'm surprised we didn't talk about it, but that's, again.
Close pick for me. I mean,
I just wanted to give it some love because we didn't talk about it, that's
definitely.
all.
Like I said, there was a couple little things in there that I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I probably would have picked that match.
Fair enough. Do you want my moments of the night?
Yes.
Well, I got a couple, as I always do. That's, the normal. Just two here, not like crazy like the LookBack Show. It's a toss-up. They're both number one. I can't pick a moment of the night or a moment that made me pop and jump more because I think they may have both equally. But if not, I'll save the one that I think might be number one for last. Number two, Keith Lee and the pin on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That pin, they got me. I thought he was pinning Roman Reigns there, and just the way like they got so much air because Keith Lee's such a big dude. When they land in the middle of the ring, they get so much pop that Roman was like barely had his shoulders down because it was like the back of his neck was getting pinned. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was an amazing moment in the of the night, and then like we talked about the fist bump and the respect given to Keith Lee just tops it all off, put the cherry on top. But my number one moment of the night, and I wish I had some kind of sound effect for him, but I don't, is the double 619 from Rey
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio and Dominic.
Yeah.
And that was, I popped like a motherfucker. And when he hit the frog splash off the top, I thought that was it. I really thought Rey was winning that belt. I got to be honest with you, and call me a mark, I don't know. But I was into it, and I thought if there's an opportunity for Rey to win this belt, this is it. Lead pipe, his son, double 619, double frog splash, 2 guys on top of him.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So that's my moment of the night.
Nice.
Definitely. When I think back, I didn't say it, but typically our moments of the night are kind of the stuff that we think that we will think about when we think about Survivor Series 2019 in 5, 10, or even 1 week, or,
Yeah, most
5
definitely.
years, 10 years, or 1 week, whatever. But yeah, sorry.
For me, I got one standout, I guess.
Yeah, that's
It's definitely as a moment itself, like, honestly, the exchange between Keith Lee and Roman, like that props moment, like, that's something I feel like if he's, done right down the line and has a successful career in the WWE, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
That's something I feel like you'd see in a package, in an entrance of a Raw or Smack. Like, it felt like a big moment. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. Or maybe not in the entrance pack, but like flashbacks.
Yeah.
When you look back on his career, or
a Survivor Series role highlight.
Yeah,
reel or
or
something.
like, maybe I'm getting too deep with it, but maybe when when he's a heel 6 years down the line and Roman pulls up the old footage, like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
When you broke in, like, I gave, or something like
somewhere.
like bringing this back full circle. Yeah. I totally agree.
That moment was really cool, and honestly, just him in general was like just a standout. That whole little offense that he had throughout the match in taking out Seth, and the exchange with Roman back and forth, it was all wicked.
Excuse me, jeez. When I said when we were watching it, and I was like, oh, here we go. We're going to get Seth and Roman down at the end, Raw versus SmackDown. And I really thought that's what they were going to do. And I'm so happy that they didn't, because they're obviously, with what happened on Raw and Seth turning heel and everything, well, I'm assuming he's turned heel. They knew that wasn't the direction that they could go with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, thank God. But yeah, man, you got a melty for me? The stars? And again, I guess I should let the listeners know who don't listen to the Look Back. We don't go by stars on the Look Back here. Whether we're fans of them or not, we'll let you be the judge, but we go by Meltzers here, and I gave it 3.5 Meltzers.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I will say I'll say a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
A solid 3?
Solid 3, yeah.
3 out of 5?
Yeah.
All right. How about the Broken Skull sessions with The Undertaker, my friend? Because...
what?
Fuck.
What?
I got one for him too, or do I? No, I think I got rid of it. I don't have it anymore. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Oh, the take?
Yeah, I used to have one for him.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I don't know. What did you think, man? It was amazing. It was like a 2-hour friggin' podcast, essentially. I don't want to talk too long on it, but anybody who hasn't had the time to go see it. Fuck.
Oh, definitely go watch it. Yeah.
Go
if you
watch
haven't,
it.
Please, like, it was well worth the watch, I will say. Yeah, man. Undertaker, seeing him like that, it's like the most, like, it's very few and far between that you have, you know what I mean? And I think now as his career starts to maybe wind down, we'll see him, kind of humanized a little bit more.
One sec, I'm trying to get that clip, bro.
Because you have to gear that type of stuff up for a Hall of Fame, for,
it's the
whenever he rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, well, and it's the first time that we've ever seen him, like you said, do anything like this.
Yeah.
We've never seen The Undertaker have a sit. Maybe, has he done shoot interviews anywhere? No, I don't think so.
There was something like earlier last year or something I seen.
I remember, yeah, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't like this.
No, not at all. It was amazing. The stories he told, the memories between him and Austin, and then bringing back, shout out to our Look Back. Tell that story.
Oh, about they were talking about SummerSlam '98.
Yes.
And Austin brought up the fact of how he got concussed, basically, 5 minutes in, very early into the match,
and the way he knocked his head off the top of Taker's chin,
and he was concussed throughout this match, and it was just something. I mean, even if to listeners, go check out our look back.
That's what I was more wanted you to tell a story of.
We didn't even know this, and we praised the match. The match was still good, I think.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I don't know how
What Austin
what
says
he
about
felt
it.
but just crazy, man. Crazy stories.
Yeah. Did you have like a highlight of the? I loved the setting. Like I really loved the way that it looked. The Broken Skull sessions.
A highlight for me actually was, you know what, when they were just Austin, like seeing him being like such a fan when they were showing the Undertaker when he came back as the American Badass.
Oh, and Austin just loving
like, bam, there you go, wham, look at that. There he, like when Austin just getting right. I was like, this is sick.
I know exactly what you mean. I liked some of the explanation between that and how they distinguished like Big Evil and
American Badass.
And American Badass, and how they were kind of two different characters. I didn't even really know that. But yeah, I don't want to get on whether it's spoilery or not. But it was just a really good interview. Anybody who hasn't seen it, go check it out. It's on the WWE Network. And hopefully these Broken Skull sessions that Austin does, we get more of them, and that they're just as good as this one. I don't know. I felt like I should say more, but at the same time, all I should say is go watch the damn interview.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, I had to get it, man.
Yeah.
I had to find it. How about NXT? Do you want to talk about that a little bit? I don't want to go too long on it. I don't have too much to say.
Oh, the old Takeover.
Takeover. Other than shout out to Younger, I watched it with him, and
it
was fun to watch with him since I hadn't seen him in so long, and we're hoping to get him back on the look back.
How did he enjoy it from what you gathered?
From what I gathered, he enjoyed most of the show. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the main event, the War Games match between the men.
Yeah.
Cool seeing Kevin Owens
pop it. Yeah,
back.
surprising.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected that, or I didn't. I don't know who was expecting to see him out there.
It crossed my mind, but then I was so confused too, like even
whether Johnny was
even when
actually
he came, I'm
hurt.
like, oh, is he now NXT?
I popped huge for the shirt.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I kept saying, I'm like, he's wearing his old shirt. He's wearing his old shirt. And then it had NXT on the back, and that made me think like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, does that mean he's there? Or does that mean it's an old shirt?
Yeah.
You know?
That's where I was a little confused. Wicked match. I also, and then yeah, like you said too, I don't know, maybe Johnny. I thought it could have been him too.
Well, I felt like they did a good job of not, like, keeping it unsure as far as if Johnny was actually hurt.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you go do your research and you find your Dave Meltzers of the world and all that stuff, you're going to find the stuff. But if you weren't looking very hard, it wasn't in your face, oh, Johnny's out for 8 months because he need. So I don't know. I still, right now, today, I don't know what's going down with Johnny, whether he is out for a significant amount of time or not. But they did a good job keeping the surprise, at least from some.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But the Kevin Owens shirt was incredible. I wasn't a fan of the women's War Games match. And it's because they pulled the whole Roman Reigns 2017 fucking, I'm going to leave on a stretcher and then I'm going to come back out later and still be part of the match. And I just, with the women, with Io Shirai, I think it was, and Candice coming out, as well as on top of all of that, as well as the teams being mixed with the team on Survivor Series. Like, there's women that were fighting each other at War Games that were on the same team at Survivor Series.
Yeah, that part they screwed up on, I feel like.
They did a good job of it in the men's match. They made sure that they didn't have, Adam Cole in there with Keith Lee and them. But they I guess there's only so many women that you can do that with. And then they brought Toni Storm in out of nowhere. Like, I think the first time she was involved in any of this was like the week before.
Weird.
And no introduction, no nothing for her. I didn't enjoy that match very much, I gotta be honest.
The props I will give it, though, is I really did enjoy the closing finish with, I thought it was the right choice to have Rhea Ripley get the pin on Shayna.
Absolutely.
And the way she did it with the handcuff and that whole sequence, I thought that was cool.
No,
too.
that made a lot of sense, and it was significant because, I mean, look what Shayna Baszler did the next night, for one, and look what Shayna Baszler has done prior to that. So it's a significant moment in Rhea Ripley's career, I think, at least.
Sure. I really, really enjoyed the Finn Balor Matt Riddle match.
Yeah.
I thought it was very, like, it was kind of everything I expected it to be.
Yeah,
In a
I
weird
think
way.
I don't know if I was maybe not paying attention as much as I should have been, but I kind of felt different in the sense that it wasn't as much as I was expecting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, again, that has more to do with me maybe not keeping my eyes on the screen as much as I should have been while that match was taking place. But again, I think the best part about this card was the fact that there was 4 matches.
Yeah.
So everything had time to breathe. The show was only 2 hours and whatever long. It wasn't super long.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything just had time to breathe. So this match here, if this was on a Survivor Series, then forget about it. It's going to be 10 minutes and you're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
But it's here on this card. I don't know what the time was. We don't have it pulled up right now, but I'm sure it was like 15, 20 minutes. I'm sure they gave them a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. But I said that with too much tonight.
I think I think too, like, it was just, they're a good match. It's 2 guys that I wouldn't on paper like even think about matching up. To me,
when Finn Balor said Matt Riddle's name, when he was cutting that promo I was praising last week, I thought he was just saying it to say it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was either something that they had already established or something they were going to establish, with him coming out and attacking Finn. But yeah, unexpected matchup that turned out to give you a really good match.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Very physical.
Yeah, the men's match. All I gotta say is, well, I'm just gonna. I don't know what I just did there, so minus that. But I just wanted to give praise in the men's match to fucking Adam Cole and Tommaso. Obviously, I want to praise everyone. Yeah. All 10 members. Is it 4-on-4 or 5-on-5? It's 4-on-4.
4-on-4.
So all 8 members of this match, for all the brutality that they took, but that bump at the end with Adam Cole and Ciampa was insane.
Oh yeah,
you couldn't pay me enough to do that.
Talk about moments of
the night. Yeah. Should I play the song again, Don? Jeez, because yeah, you want to talk about a memorable moment. This is a memorable moment of the night.
Yeah.
One thing I loved that kind of separate from that, but also attached, was I love how this match ended with every member of Undisputed Era being put through a table.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like whoever thought up that at the end, like, okay, Fish is going to go through here, and then O'Reilly here, and then, Roddy's going to get, I don't know if it's like a choke slam or like a rock bottom type thing through the other table, and then the big finale, Cole is going to go through both tables from the top. What's that move called? Is that John or
the one that he did to him?
Ciampa's finisher?
What do you call it?
There's a name for it, but I just can't remember. It's all good.
It kind of slips my mind.
But he kind of holds them upside down on his back, holds their head on his left side, and drops them back down.
Like Sheamus used to do that as well.
Yeah,
actually,
100% Sheamus did.
Yeah.
It was a white noise when Sheamus did it.
Yeah.
That's what Sheamus called it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an actual name for it, some kind of neck breaker. But I don't know. The Marks are screaming at their headphones right now.
But
it's a backdrop thing.
You know what I liked about it was that at the end, like, everybody was just done. Like, everybody was
finished.
Spent. Like, there was a past year where, like, guys were, like, up, kind of, like, they sold and they were in pain, obviously.
Yeah.
But, everyone was just bodies.
That's a really good point.
When you looked around.
I didn't think about that, because you're right. I think the last 2 years, there has been guys half up, half on the rope, celebrating a little bit. Yeah, this one, there was none of that.
Like, I remember Pete Dunne and Ricochet on top of the cage looking at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
You know what I mean? So that's what. But, like, there was
yeah.
just bodies. Everyone was down. Everyone.
Winners,
guy.
losers. Ciampa, it didn't matter. Like, it mattered that he won, but I just mean not to him at that moment. It was just like, I'm alive. Thank God that I'm alive.
And from a fucking art standpoint, dude, like, Ciampa's music, no one will survive,
is the best.
Like, that playing while he's just lying there and everybody's down. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, incredible. I fucked it up a minute ago, but I'm giving him another one. No, dude, it's all good. Incredible main event match, and just a really well done NXT Takeover card. They rarely have a poor one, and I don't watch NXT week to week. I've said it multiple times in this show, but I always watch the NXT Takeover. Yeah. Whether it's a War Games or Canada or whatever the hell it is. I always watch them. So, well done to NXT, and I don't know if you have anything else you want to say about that pay-per-view, but I felt like I don't know. We've said it many times. We're not breaking news here at the Pro Wrestling Look Back. You're getting the opinions of Nick and Don and anybody else that comes on the show. But yeah, I don't know. You want to get into a little bit of Raw, or was there much else from outside of WWE that you wanted to talk about first?
Yeah, I guess we'll transition into some Raw, maybe touch on some other stuff after that.
Yeah, that works for me. Seth Rollins, buddy. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me get the... I feel like we got to do this, you know? We need to have the ring bell. Like, it's a must. I'm going to transition from talking about, well, I guess we're talking about wrestling the whole time, but,
Our boy, Mr.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I don't have a Seth quote either. I really need to work on this. People I'm surprised they haven't gotten on my case yet. But
if we're gonna get a Seth, we gotta get him calling out John Cena. John. We gotta get that. That'd be a great drop. That.
I still need that Don Tony. That's the one that I want more than anything. When you hear that next, you gotta tell me, bro, because I need it. But yeah, the Seth Rollins promo. I said it there a second ago, but I very interesting. The way that this... I wrote that before it was done. Like, it was when he was just out there by himself with everybody else around him, and he started to kind of vaguely... I'm like, is he being a dick, or is this... I didn't know. I wasn't sure. It wasn't like right away, like, oh, he's gone heel.
Yeah.
Like, I like how they subtly did it, and he was walking around, guys, come on, I'm passionate. Like, this is just because I love the company so much. Like,
oh,
I'm such a fucking...
He's so cringe.
Like,
but it works. Like,
but I was buying in, like, kinda. I'm like, maybe. Yeah. I'm like, maybe he's still, like, maybe
he means it.
Maybe he means it. Like, he does mean it, right? Because I don't know. I just don't like the way Seth has been, kind of post SummerSlam, going in from WrestleMania, leading into WrestleMania, and everything after WrestleMania. I enjoyed. It was just leading into SummerSlam, post SummerSlam, and then Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
basically his title run. I liked his first title run.
Yeah.
It was since he lost it to Brock with the Money in the Bank, from then on with the boombox briefcase and all that stuff. I haven't been a fan, but heel turn, good promo. When he called Rey Mysterio stupid kid, you and your stupid kid. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Did you see Rey walking away?
What's the exact moment where...
Bro, you literally, clearly, you could see his mouth. He looks up at Seth. Fuck you, Seth.
I didn't get that.
Oh, it was, bro. You probably won't be able to find it. Definitely not on WWE's channel. But yeah, he clear as day just looks at him. You can shout out to Moo and Newell because we were all watching together. And he looks at him. Fuck you, Seth. So that was awesome. But he called his kid stupid. What do you expect? I expected more.
Yeah, he was it was an interesting one, right? Kind of went in on...
He went on everyone, and then...
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show!
It's not Monday Night Rollins, buddy.
Yeah.
It's the Kevin Owens Show. I liked how he was obviously he does a stunner or whatever, but he felt like Stone Cold in that segment. How he was like the one to show up and just look at him like, yeah, no, fuck you. And like basically just stunner. Like, I'm not listening to your shit. I'm not going to give you my reasons. It's just stunner, see ya. And our boy Moo, shout out to him again. He was obviously popping big time for the stunner.
I thought, I don't know if I'm jumping too far here, but
no.
the promo that KO cut on him
backstage?
Backstage before their match, I really enjoyed that because I thought, I was watching this and I'm like, you know what, man? This is perfect to come from this guy too, because like KO, he just feels like a man of the people. He does. Like, he feels like I
talked about it last week.
We all like him.
He's one of the best. Like, I talked about people who have cut the best babyface promos over the years.
Yeah.
And I included him in that conversation with The Rock and Stone Cold and some of these people that are just, John Cena.
Yep.
Good babyface promo guys. Yeah, Kevin Owens is the right choice.
And I feel like said everything that we kind of been talking about.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And like... jumping back, I guess, again, how about Seth Rollins trying to, I don't know, because this is what made me think he was still babyface, was when they were chanting CM Punk, and he's like, I tried, guys, like, he didn't want to come, like, like, it's like, give it up, man, like, I don't know if that was genuine or not, but, yeah, Kevin Owens, is the best choice, and I don't know if I'm like, we'll keep going forward with Raw, I guess, in the main event, but I want to talk about the main event now and just a stat. I don't know if it's because I've been so into baseball lately, but I feel like this is a baseball type stat. Do you know what the main event of Monday Night Raw after Survivor Series was 3 years ago in Toronto?
3 years ago in Toronto. Oh, it was these guys now that you said it. Yeah, now I remember it.
It's Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I don't know why, and that again, this is a very baseball-y, all the games taking place on October 4th at 7 p.m. You know, like there's very minutia stats, but I thought it was cool that in the main event of Monday Night Raw, following a major pay-per-view Survivor Series, we're now getting Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens again. And some people would be like, well, I don't want to see that again. But I just think it's kind of cool that it's like they can say that. Like, I'm sure they remember that they fought in the main event after Survivor Series 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
At least I think they would remember that. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's an interesting point too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a pure me. I came up with that one on my own. So I don't know, but yeah, going forward, AOP was in a bit of a squash match. What are your thoughts on AOP and them kind of helping Seth?
I like the tie-in.
They help Seth a little bit.
The Rollins thing. Yeah. Like I like the tie-in. I honestly thought that, at that moment when he was kind of like looking at them and he was like calling them on.
Yeah, Seth.
I kind of thought like, oh, he's about to give the old props or something. I thought it was just gonna like he's gonna smirk. Like this was all set up. Like he planned this. That's what I thought was coming.
I see. Yeah, see. I don't think they're going like
they're doing a slow burn.
They're not going full. Like they are going full heel, but not going full heel in the sense that they don't want to make it seem like Seth planned all this.
Yeah,
because his face was very like, oh, like why didn't they attack me? Like what's going on?
Yeah,
why? What did I do to not get attacked? But I hope that they're like his heater bodyguard guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the suits.
Yeah.
If we get Seth dressing in the suits again, or maybe not even a full suit, but you know what I mean? Definitely. The dress clothes and shit. It could work.
Oh, for sure.
And it's better than the SWAT gear that they rocked before.
Yeah.
Because like, it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either.
Yeah, no.
And you know what? This is shout out to them because I know one of them is Albanian, and I know that there was a major earthquake in Albania that happened this week. So all my thoughts and prayers from the Pro Wrestling LookBack go out to Albania.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm remembering that is because, again, I know one of the AOP guys is Albanian, so I just wanted to mention that as well. But possibly my favorite thing happening on Monday Night Raw right now is the Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy interactions that we're getting between the two of them. But how about Matt freaking Hardy coming back to Monday Night Raw, bro?
Out of nowhere.
I popped big time. And I was like, yo, that's like Matt Hardy, not like Woken, not like he was doing the version whatever, and he had the ponytail and the same, the long sleeve shirt.
Hardy Boys gear.
And he looked like a Hardy Boy. It was amazing. I don't know if I would have lobbied to have him lose in 3 minutes to Buddy Murphy, but you're a big Buddy Murphy fan and you're an old school Hardy Boys fan. So what are your thoughts on this?
Cool to see Matt Hardy back.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is like a one off kind of, because I know he does stuff in the back more so.
No,
right?
yeah.
Or if we're gonna kind of see him like here and there maybe. Helping guys.
If we are, I hope it's not always losing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Matt Hardy at this point in his career, he could still have a competitive match. And he's still in good shape, you know what I mean? Where he could have a competitive match. I don't think we'll get a squash like every time.
No, and all I was gonna say is he can still put people over.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
This did, whether it was an amazing match or not, like Buddy Murphy getting a win over a guy like Matt Hardy is good for Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
It's just if Matt Hardy comes out every other week and loses to Shelton Benjamin and then loses to Chad Gable and then loses to Eric Rowan, it's like, well, at some point, then beating Matt Hardy is now insignificant. Yeah. And you don't want to have him completely lie down at the end of his career like that. You know what I mean? He's not a James Ellsworth type character. You know what I mean? I'd give me a jobber, but
I think ultimately, they, at the end of the day, we'll see them go out together down the line. I don't know what's going on.
The
with
Hardy
Jeff
Boys, you mean?
Yeah,
Jeff. Yeah. Are you as interested? I'm surprised you haven't had as much to say, to be honest, in this, because I know how much of a fan of Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy you are.
I am into it, but I think I'm just anticipating the first time we get that belt more than anything. Because like honestly, dude, when I heard, I don't hear a lot of him talk. Like,
but
I've
the backstage stuff has been great. I think it's been great. Your face
I don't know if I've seen a lot. Like I didn't really enjoy Buddy
banging
like,
on the
calling
door.
him, no, like when he talked today, or on Raw when he said whatever he said, I was like, I wasn't super into it. But I don't know.
I'm just
know if
surprised
that's more
because
on his delivery, more than anything.
Not necessarily what he was saying.
Not what he was saying, but more his delivery of like how he, said it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very excited to see when these two finally clash because I feel like they'll.
I hope it's at like a TLC or somewhere.
I assume so.
I don't know for sure though because there's no belt. There's no, you know how they are with that shit.
Yeah.
So you never know, but I just I'm excited for it, and I don't come at me anybody who's of this culture, but I've never been a fan of and this is just a personal thing. It's not because I don't like the people. It's just a fan of wrestlers. I've never been a fan of the ginger wrestlers. So it's funny that both these guys, gingers, and I'm super excited for this match.
Is Alistair like? Is he considered a ginger?
Is he? I thought kind of like. I mean, more than me being dark hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. I don't know. I was interested in that, and not that should be something to be interested in, but either way, I just noticed that I was like, huh.
I'm interested to
like
see
the
where...
Sheamuses of the world. I've never been a fan.
No, I got you. I'm very curious to see. No, I'm definitely gonna be into it when the bell rings, man, because I like both of them in ring wise.
Oh yeah, it should be amazing.
Alistair's got such a great presence to him, for even not being he's not a big guy. Like
his entrance music is incredible, and his entrance itself.
It's his look and his talk, and
it all just works.
Yeah,
I like is that sound that it makes, like that creaking? Is that the sound of his thing getting lifted up, or is that in his music? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like creaking wood.
You're not talking about like the
thing that lifts him
echo.
up. I'm talking about like the thing. Oh, maybe it is in his song.
It could be, yeah, because I don't know. There's a sound that is in the beginning, kind of comes into the beat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that you're talking about, or
I'm not sure.
But
either way, he's got a really good entrance.
Oh hell yeah!
I enjoy Buddy Murphy's and Aleister Black's work. So that match and the feud should be good. But moving forward, I guess Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio. There was some other stuff that took place on Raw in between. Eric Rowan had a squash match against some dude named Kyle. And
what's in the cage, or what do you think? Do you have any do you have an opinion on it? Maybe what do you think?
Do you think okay, non-storyline, no, it's all good. Non-storyline for a second.
Yep.
Do you think there's anything actually in the cage?
Oh, probably not. Like right
do you
now,
think it's
no,
empty when he brings it out to the ring?
Yeah, probably.
Like there's nothing in there.
Well, you know what? I'm saying that very loosely. It could be like a head or something.
But I'm very curious because it's weird. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's gonna be some kind of bird.
Okay, interesting.
Like him talking to like a little yellow bird or something. Like something
Why,
odd.
though?
I don't know. You asked for what I'm feeling,
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If it's not like I think there's a lizard in there or something or a cat.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be, and I feel like don't get me wrong, I don't know for sure, but I feel like that's been a thing in movies and stuff, like creepy dudes talking to birds in cages. Like, isn't that like a thing in Home Alone? The guy talks to a bird or something, and guys talking to the Birdman, and
it could
maybe
be
not Birdman himself, but
I'm thinking of the lady who's feeding
feeding the birds. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like it might be a bird, some kind of canary or some kind of yellow.
I gotta give props to someone else for this because I'll tell you honestly, I had no fucking idea. Like, if you asked me this question and I didn't listen to another show, I wouldn't have even brought this up. Because I have no fucking idea what he's talking about.
No. That's why I didn't even have it written down. I just wanted to mention that he did have a match against a gentleman named Kyle.
But fucking shout out to the Don Tony show.
Yes.
He said that he thinks it's gonna end up being like a mask. Like remember he used to wear the
sheep mask.
Yeah, he said a new flip on that, and maybe he's talking to the mask. You know what I mean?
Could be.
I was like, that's a really good. I thought that was a good guess.
Didn't he wear like a gas mask version
of
that?
Another one, yeah,
for a little while.
So maybe this is some other.
Yeah, that could work. I still think it's crazy that he's the one getting the push now and not Luke. You know what I mean? Like, and he had that whole run with Daniel Bryan, and it's like if you're gonna give somebody their shot now, let's maybe. I think maybe they don't like Luke on the mic and shit. I don't know.
One of the fans said it was Luke Harper's passion for wrestling in the cage. Yeah, I had to share that one because I remembered it. That's what somebody said. I was listening to their show.
That's good shit.
I feel bad though.
So do I. That's what I'm saying. Especially if it's a taking turns and there's only so many spots kind of thing. It's like, well, maybe let's give him a shot now. I don't know. Maybe that's not how we should run a business
why
either.
Bring Luke in randomly like a couple months. Remember, like he was in with the DB Roman tag and he was with Rowan. Like
vague.
They just took him out.
There
was no explanation. He was there and he was gone. Draft. That's it.
Was he drafted?
Nope. But Rowan was. They brought that up. Rowan was like mentioned in the draft.
Who? Don Tony brought that up?
No, I just remember like I remember during the draft like he wasn't.
Oh, they brought him up. Yeah. Anyway, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, fatal 4-way for a shot at the U.S. Championship following this match. Great promos at the beginning.
I missed the promos. I turned on the match and I called you. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I suck at remembering stuff word for word, but they kind of went back and forth with different ideas. Like Drew had an idea. They were all basically wanted the challenge for the title.
Yep.
And they were going back and forth, and then Ricochet's like, I got an idea. He's like, how about me, Randy, Drew, and the four of us fight, and then the winner can fight AJ. And AJ's like, oh, yeah, great idea. Like being all funny, like trying to turns over to Luke Gallows, like, oh, isn't that? Yeah, like we're going to do that. And then Luke Gallows is like, I actually kind of think that's a good idea. Like, it's probably not a bad idea. And then AJ's like, ha! And he turns over to Carl Anderson, does the same sort of thing, and he's kind of talking to Carl like, yeah, right. Like and Carl's like, it seems like a main event. We're here in Chicago. I think you should do it, AJ. And then he did it. So which was kind of babyface, I guess, but I think they were just trying to be funny.
Yeah, what's my biggest gripe with all this, man? Like, we need an authority figure. We need to earn our GM or something.
Somebody, yeah.
Because it's like, what if I'm thinking realistically, or I'm
Who's
AJ,
making
I'm AJ.
the matches?
Why don't I just no?
Yeah,
I would just walk away. No, I don't have to. Like, I would just leave.
Says who?
Right?
Yeah, says
like,
who? That's a great point because there is, and I think they're just trying to go away from it because they did it for so long. But they do need somebody, whether it's a new face, like
come on, give us call Sting or something, man. We don't want Hogan. We want Sting.
Who said Hogan?
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing guys out there. Bro.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I'll tell you.
I'd like,
But yeah, anyway, Fatal 4-Way, they went back and forth. Drew had a funny moment where Ricochet had kind of said, why don't we do this Fatal 4-Way? And Drew's just like, oh, yeah, no, I like my idea better. So, and they just kind of went back and forth. And I don't know what determined them, like you said, who was the one who said, yes, you may now fight in a Fatal 4-Way and the winner will fight AJ. So, but that's what happened. So they had a Fatal 4-Way match. Rey Mysterio came out on top. I wasn't expecting that. I also wasn't expecting this match to take place immediately following.
Yeah, neither was I. I was when that happened though. I was like, now thinking about everything that you're telling me beforehand.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense because AJ is gonna fight a guy who's just kind of
tired,
been through some shit right now.
So he's like,
Let's
okay,
go.
yeah, well,
you get your match, but
it's happening right now. Yeah, and I don't know if they specified that at the beginning because when it did happen right away, like when Ray won, and I was like, oh, sweet, okay, he might, because I was thinking he could win this, and
honestly,
we'll get to it there. But I was like, oh, but that'll be later. It won't, like, it'll be. No, the main event was Kevin and Seth, but either way, I thought it was going to be later, and then it was right after, and they had another good match. I guess AJ doesn't need that U.S. championship right now. It's not the end of the world. I mean,
Yeah.
And I think with how good Ray's match was against Brock and how well that match, I think probably was received from the fans. Why not?
Yeah, give
him that opportunity too.
He was the Joker. I found out later.
Really?
Yeah, he was trying to be the the new one from the movie. Like, yeah, that's what he was going for. I found out like later on.
Well,
I've been meaning to tell you this. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so silent. He looked way more like Doink the Clown. Like,
a lot of people thought that
like
too, though.
You said.
I was seeing on Twitter. A lot of people thought like that was kind of a thing.
That doesn't make any sense. I haven't even seen that movie, and I know that mask looks nothing like that. And I know he doesn't wear a mask, but I just mean, doesn't that Joker have like a triangle on one eye and then a different shape on his other eye?
I think he has the two. trying. I think.
Does he?
I think so.
Either
but
way.
I get it. I get it with the jacket, I guess. Even
Yeah.
still, though, it's kind of...
It was a bit of a stretch, especially when he's had such good costumes like Avatar,
Yeah.
like
The other Joker he did.
the
He
other
did the other Joker.
Yeah. I forgot which one. The Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I think it was a flip on that.
Okay, yeah, that one, and then what's the other one I'm thinking of that I can't? Oh, Daredevil.
Yeah,
That was another
Flash.
Flash.
He's
He's done a lot of
yeah.
really good ones. So I think maybe the bar is so high for Rey Mysterio costumes that
It's a little late too, buddy. I think.
for the movie.
Like I know it's still.
Maybe he wanted to do it before. He just wasn't having any matches.
Mm-hmm.
He was just getting beat up and shit back because he was walking around with the sling with Velasquez for a while.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so then he wins the belt. Fight AJ after the match, and he wins. It was a good one.
Good match.
I would have liked to see another double 619, but unfortunately, can't win them all.
We did get
Did Dominic come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Lifted
did.
him up.
He lifted him up. He put him on the shoulders, and he gave him the belt, and that was a whole good moment.
Yeah.
Good moment.
Randy though, what about Randy's involvement? We didn't talk about that too much
Oh,
he totally
yeah, you're right.
with the fucking assist here.
Big time, big RKO to get
What was that about? I was fucking confused, dude, when I was watching this. I was like, why is he helping him? I didn't know, but I didn't watch any
I told
of the
you, bro.
talkage. You did tell me.
I told you, his babyface Randy is back. He's, and I don't know why, but I'm starting to get behind it
Maybe
more than I ever have, as far as babyface Randy Orton goes. Did you see the video he posted on his Instagram with the little snake?
no.
I just thought it's like, what are the odds? This guy had like snakes in his basement at his house, and he's playing with this little snake and his daughter, and he had it in his hands, and it was like flowing through his finger. Like the snake was literally 4 inches long, so it wasn't big. Baby snake. Like the snake had babies in his basement.
Oh wow.
But it was just like the Viper. I was like,
Viper, man.
that's what I mean. I was like, how crazy is it that Randy Orton's the one that's playing with the snake on my Instagram? And then he posted one yesterday of him and his wife's feet in the bottom of his bed. So,
You know what that means, right?
well, he was like, I think it was more like because he said something about being on a bus. I think he was kind of like, can't fucking wait to be home kind of thing. Like he was on the bus, so he posted that to kind of like remind himself that he's going to be home soon.
Maybe they are short on that list for opponents for Brock, and maybe that has a lot to do with it.
Oh,
Just
really?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm. If this is what it is.
I love Randy Orton and I love Brock Lesnar, but you know what I like more than both of them?
What?
Fresh matchups. Not Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam.
Not fresh. Not fresh.
It's
when I
not
see-
fresh, man. It's Rotten Tomatoes. It's certified rotten is what that match is. I don't want to see that right now. I really don't. But I do think babyface Randy is at least around. And didn't he come out and help Ricochet again, or do something with Ricochet?
I don't.
They fought each other, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still the full assist.
Full assist. I don't have much notes from the rest of the show.
Yep.
Because I kind of just, I don't know if I checked out or I just figured that I don't know how much we were going to get into it on this show anyway. But I want to just talk about the main event. Anything else that you want to get into about the Seth and Kevin stuff? I obviously already talked about the whole 3 years ago main event after Survivor Series, and I think that was intentional, but maybe not. I think maybe it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes, I guess. You know what I mean?
Is this...
I like the fact that Seth is going in that direction, though, because, come on.
Nobody was... He's getting booed
We weren't-
everywhere, man. It was getting bad, and I haven't been on that train as much as maybe you have, but he hasn't been... Like, Roman Reigns has been significantly more popular than Seth Rollins as of late,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
which is something not... You wouldn't have thought either one of us would have said 2 years ago.
I got to tell you something, though. I think that the WWE as a whole, if they have no plan of doing Punk and bringing him in with Rollins,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like, if you thought the chants were bad before, like, they're just going to get more and more and more and more.
What do you
and
mean, the
more.
Punk
Yeah.
chance?
Yeah, especially because...
I don't know, man. I think like that this weekend. Let's wait and let that simmer.
No.
We were in Chicago this weekend.
but I'm saying he's gonna be on WWE TV, quote unquote, with the Fox stuff.
chirping the wrestlers.
No, well, just he's gonna be there, so he's gonna be seen by by the fans, who are gonna be tuning into that.
And maybe the fans that didn't know who CM Punk was before may chant his name now.
And now everyone knows the whole, like, Rollins is gonna be a bad guy now. Like, I feel like it'll be thrown at him quite a bit. I think maybe not,
but he'll run with it.
Maybe not
because he wants that.
Oh yeah.
You think he doesn't want to fight CM Punk?
No, of course he does. Yeah.
So if they chant he's gonna be like, Tweet him. Call him. Get at him. I want him too, guys. But he's still got to be a heel.
Yeah.
He can't, because if he's saying that, then the crowd's going to be like,
saying,
yeah.
I feel like throughout his matches, like if there's a lull and people aren't, like, you're going to get, I feel like it's going to be pretty, not just because of Chicago. I just think it's going to be frequent. Like,
say something?
Yeah.
Not that you wouldn't let me, but the CM Punk chants don't bother me as much anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why? Because he's here?
Well, yeah, because the only reason I ever really was against them was because I was like, guys, he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't give a fuck about any of this or you right now. He just doesn't. So why are we chanting a guy's name who quit and doesn't want to be here? It's a little different when he kind of quote unquote works for the company. In my opinion, at least, as far as, the significance of that. But I guess that's it from Raw. Do you want to get into a little bit of AEW before we?
Yeah, I caught most of AEW this week. Did you catch?
Well, no. I kind of realized this today. It was kind of, I don't know if it's good or bad or what. Maybe it just shows how much I'm really a fan. But I totally forgot that the show was even on. Yeah, like I'm not just saying that. I'm not a hater. I'm not a whatever. I just genuinely forgot. I think whether I was too busy sim racing or whatever, eating dinner, I don't know. I totally forgot the show was on. I was on PW Torch looking for one of the shows, and I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, that was last night, and I didn't even watch 1 second of it. Now, we know or anybody who listens regularly knows that I don't watch NXT anymore because it's not on TV in Canada until Friday, and I'm kind of on a little boycott fucking, I'm sitting on my high horse. But AEW, I typically would at least have on in the background or tune in. So, no, I didn't see anything from this show. The only thing AEW related I know now, as of this week, is that Chris Jericho is officially now selling champagne, sparkling wine. LittleBitOfBubbly.com is where you can pick up your bottle of Little Bit of Bubbly. Yep. And apparently they've already crashed the site twice, is what he said, according to his Instagram post. So, that's amazing. Good for him, because fuck, who would have thought?
He's quite the guy, right?
Shut the hell up!
He certainly is.
Yeah, and dude, typically I don't watch AEW live, so it was kind of cool for me. This is the first time I actually was at home and had it on the TV live. Like normally I'll watch it on like an iPad or flip it on my phone. Yeah, highlights, whatever. So it's kind of cool. It's just, I've been sick, so I was chilling. I'm like, might as well. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
There was this whole thing at the beginning of the show with Jericho getting his thank you finally from the company. From
the company. Did they give it to him?
Did a whole celebration. There was a letter he had from them that he made Justin Roberts read. And the boys, his crew, they're all giving him gifts.
Guevara.
And Virgil was there. I don't know why. What? Like it was, because I don't watch like week to week.
Yeah.
Has Virgil been on AEW?
Not that I've seen.
But they called him something else. I can't remember the name, but it was something outlandish. Like,
but I gotta be honest with you, man. If they called him something else and I saw him, I may not have recognized it being I don't. The only Virgil I know is like the few matches I've seen of the Attitude Era.
Or even like the LookBack.
Yeah, exactly, like that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's like I can barely...
He looked a hell of a lot different then, let me tell you.
So then I may have seen him and not known that was Virgil. Was he in the crew of Jericho?
No, he was like introducing the show. Like so the show opens up and the ring, there's all these little floaties outside the ring, like
floaties.
Big blow up doll fucking balloons and shit. You know what I mean? All this stuff on the outside of the ring, presents in the ring, and a band on the aisleway.
Okay.
And Virgil's in the ring, and I forget what the fuck they called him. Father Joseph. Like, he had some ridiculous name. And he had a paper that he's reading off, and he's introducing. I think he almost called him Christopher. And
Christopher Jericho.
He's another story, man. For another, but
fuck. Anyway,
so we get Jericho out there, and he gets the crew, and they're all giving him gifts. And one of the standouts of this, what I thought was pretty funny, was the what the tag guys gave him. What is their actual tag team name? I still refer to them as LAX, but
are they not
Santana and Ortiz? I guess.
Okay, right? Yeah. I still refer to them as LAX too. Again, don't watch enough AEW to really know.
They had a nice box of different gifts they were giving him in one, and they were just like very stereotypical, like Latin type of things.
Oh, shit.
You could say, right? And one of them was
like a chili pepper or something?
One was like Well, he gave him the slippers, which he called the chancletas, and he's like, you know about these, especially if you're young, like Hispanic.
Oh, that's
You've been
sick,
hit
though.
with that. You've been hit with that, or something, like, by your parents.
That's funny.
Gave him a 40.
Oh, no
And
way.
he goes, a little bit of the 40.
The Old English?
Yeah, but he said a little bit of the 40, which I thought was
That
was a good line.
incredible.
That's my album. It's by myself,
Yeah.
solo.
Definitely.
Sorry, I gotta play it.
And this fucking Jericho's just the man that, like, he's so good at just making himself look ridiculous for the sake of our entertainment.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, he doesn't care. He'll wear some do some crazy hairdo or whatever. Like, so he puts on this bandana they gave him, like this Dominican flag, and he's wearing it backwards, dude. And he's just wearing it the rest of the promo, which I thought it was fucking hilarious. And then, so they're all out there, but there was no Hager.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, maybe he's training, and then he's like, where is he? Where is the big hurt? And like, so then we see him, and he's trying to walk a goat down to the ring, like referring to Jericho, and he's like, this is Chris Jericho.
Oh my God.
You would have loved. I should have messaged you. Dude.
Yeah, I would have liked this segment.
I was watching it.
You
and
should have called me last night.
I was
Or
gonna
2 nights ago. No, last night.
I literally
would have been
thought
on
of
for
it,
us
dude.
recording.
I was watching, and I'm like, fuck, I was about to message you. This is fucking hilarious, and like you would have.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh yeah, shit. Was that to open the show?
It was
you
the
said?
opening. Yeah.
Wow, I wonder what I was doing. I was definitely playing Gran
Some
Turismo. I was definitely racing. Definitely, because I did a lot of
His
laps
dad was
last
there
night.
too. Jericho's dad was there.
I heard, that's what I
Yeah.
had read on the AEW or the PW Torch website is that Jericho's dad was there.
It was good. He was rocking the Rangers jersey. He gave all the boys jerseys,
Oh
custom jerseys.
Irvine, I forgot. Yeah,
And they were ripping on the Chicago crowd because it was cool. They were in Chicago as well. Yeah,
no
which was
fucking
cool.
way.
Yep.
Huh.
So you seen some of the familiar faces, from the front rows. Sometimes were there.
Oh, the fucking
Some
green,
of them, yeah.
Oh, shit. Long hair and green shirt. The Brock Lesnar guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out to them.
shout out to the diehards, man. I don't know. I feel like at this point I wouldn't even want to watch the shows that close anymore.
yeah.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't even be.
Yeah.
Like once you went to WrestleMania front row, like
That yeah.
why are you going to TLC front row? Like at that point.
Fair
Like,
enough. Yeah.
I don't get it. Like if you, I don't know. To each his own, right?
What else did we get in this night? Cody came back. We seen him have a match against a local competitor. Pretty
Yeah. No, sorry. You
quick fashion. He beat him.
you beat him. Jobber match, more or less.
I think he so then Cody was trying to call out MJF, and he got jumped by someone popped out from like in the ring.
Trippy.
And what's the announcer's name? It slips my mind. The
Tony
other
Schiavone?
announcer. No, the other dude, Excalibur.
Oh, Excalibur.
Yeah, so he referred to. I think
I
this
was like, I hope you're not talking about JR.
No.
If it's not Tony Schiavone,
no,
like
no,
what?
no.
Anyway.
And these I don't know, these guys, I've never seen them, but he referred to them. I think it was Blade, the Butcher, and then a girl popped out last. There was 3 of them, and the Bunny. So these triple beat, like Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny. And I was like, this is fucked. But
Okay, wait. Was Buddy Blade dressed like Blade from the Blade movies? And was the
He
Butcher
did have a leather coat.
Fuck. I was more of a joke. Was the Butcher dressed like a butcher and the Bunny dressed like a bunny, or no?
The Bunny was dressed like a bunny. I think you'd like the Bunny. That's another. She's just nice looking.
Oh, it was a girl.
Yeah,
That's why I was
she's
like, I'm picturing some dude dressed up in a white bunny costume with a helmet on. I'm like, I don't know what Don thinks I'm into, but I can't. Anyway, maybe I'll look up the woman bunny that we've seen.
Just thought an
you've
interesting
seen.
name choice, and so yeah, and the crowd was, I think, chanting, "Who are you?" Like people didn't really know. I was confused. It was interesting.
Yeah, sounds odd.
Different.
Different, right?
Yeah. Different,
Unique.
different. MJF and Hangman had a pretty decent match.
Oh yeah, I heard that was supposed to happen. And then didn't Jericho have a title match too?
Yep.
Against
that was the closing.
the guy. Don't tell me, Scorpio Sky.
Yes, you got it.
Which is the guy you don't like from.
Well, I'm just not a fan of the.
Yeah,
whole,
you're not a fan of the
whole
group,
squad,
not
yeah.
him specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
SCU.
Yeah.
SCU.
Yeah. No, I'll pass.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to talk anything about the specific show, this was a topic I was going to bring up if Shane was here as well.
Yeah.
As much as I don't know how much he's watched, but just kind of, at least maybe if you can give me some of the ones off the top of your head, just like the top people so far in this company since we've seen it start. And some of the names, at least for me, Y2J, obviously, MJF, Pac, and Dean Ambrose, for me, have kind of been the 4 standout names.
Yeah.
Since the first episode of Dynamite. And I guess maybe you can go all the way back as far as Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a random AEW kind of.
Yeah, I would definitely say Jericho. Like Jericho's an obvious
It's kind of
one.
a given, yeah.
Honestly, it's as crazy. This might sound as crazy as this may sound, but these are all, I think, the former WWE guys I'm thinking of.
Dean. Well, I guess
yeah.
I should have called him John. Sorry.
Yeah, Mox for sure. Honestly, Cody, because he's always, I feel like, in our face too. And Pac. Did I say Pac already?
No, you
I didn't say
no.
Pac. But yeah,
So all the guys that came over, yeah.
for sure.
I don't know. It's a random topic, and I just wanted to bring up some of the guys that have done extremely well. Like Sammy Guevara has leaps and bounds. I was talking to Younger when he was here. I was like, dude, you were telling me about this guy in the first episodes of the round. Farther back, I don't even know. It was a long time ago that Younger was saying, oh, you got to check out this Sammy Guevara guy on PWG. He's really good. And then here we are. He's Jericho's right-hand man. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's cool to see. And then I know you're not a big fan of him, but he's kind of impressed me. I'm curious to see more of him. But Darby,
I know where you. No, you know what? I was gonna say this to you because I feel like you think I'm not a big fan of him because I kind of make fun of his name.
well,
I
that
do.
one week
Yeah.
you were pretty giving it to him. That one week. So
His name's just funny to me.
go back and listen to that episode.
What
I feel like it was more. I don't even remember what
I was like,
episode.
what? Who are we gonna get? Darby Allin?
No, like there was. Yeah, I don't know.
I could see.
We've done a lot of episodes now, so I forget. But
I like the paint.
I like the whole character. The fact that he used to be a pro skateboarder is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he rides a skate. Like, it makes sense. It's not like he's some, like, poser dude. I don't want to even use that word, but that's such a skater word. Riding down to the ring and on a skateboard. Like, the guy was a skateboarder. It makes sense.
I like him better than Sammy.
Yeah?
I'll tell you that. Yeah. Like, so his name to me is just funny,
Darby.
It doesn't really,
It's
like,
I
speak
feel
to
like
the way the guy looks to me. But that's
no, you
that's
don't
such
picture
a small,
like a.
that's a small detail, honestly.
I kind of picture
Like MJF, Maxwell, like he looks like.
Oh, of course.
Like
But I picture this like like I don't even know where Darby's from, but I picture him just like skinny punk kid from Scotland, named Darby, that skateboards and listens to punk music, like like that.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm not too.
Maybe it's a British name, like
Yeah, because I can
not
tell you,
British, but
I'm not familiar with the name. Like, it's not a common one. I guess,
no, it's
right?
definitely not a common one. But I don't know. I like him. I think he's another one of the kind of more, maybe not on the top tier, but in that second level of standout guys that have been in AEW since its inception, or since kind of the first episode of Dynamite, at least.
Yeah. No, I definitely like him more than a few of the other characters on the show. But yeah, one last point about the AEW was after Jericho got the win in the main event. This one popped me because I kind of tuned in hoping to see this guy, and Moxley's music hit.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, here he is in the crowd.
Because he only comes through the crowd. Is that his thing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That music.
Is that a little Shield dig? You think or no?
Yeah, kind of.
I thought of that.
I don't even know
as
if
I was saying
it's a dig, more of like a.
It makes sense with his character anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not even like it's a. It doesn't feel forced.
Yeah.
But
It definitely makes sense with the character. Well, he did a promo, so he did a little promo earlier in the night, but it wasn't really. It was very like cryptic, I guess.
I really like.
Actually, not even really cryptic. He was just kind of saying like, if somebody wants something, then they're gonna find out the hard way. Like you don't. Basically, like.
I loved when it's old now, but when he won that match at Full Gear, and you talked about how like, what am I 1, 2, and he throws up the middle finger, like, what am I and how the ranking didn't really matter. Like, that's such a subtle detail that goes so far.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just a really well done.
But they didn't actually touch. Like he kind of teased. Jericho was calling him on, and I was like, oh, what time is it? He kind of walked down, and then he kind of stopped, and then that was it.
And that was it. So it was just a tease for future,
which I'm all for.
Oh hell yeah! It's gonna work. Maybe they'll do an Asylum match. They'll bring back the Asylum.
Maybe
for the two of them. No.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think that's pretty much good, eh?
Darby.
Oh, the old F1 update for this week. Another short one. Like I said, we'll be back next week with the kind of longer breaking down the Abu Dhabi race, the last race of the season for Formula One. And then in 2 weeks following that, we're going to do kind of our best of. We'll mix it in, and I guess it'll be like episode 66 maybe at that point And we'll kind of talk about our favorite stuff from throughout the season. But again, I don't want to make this too long. I just want to give you kind of some of the main stuff. And oh man, I wrote it on the top of my sheet. I highlighted it and I made sure it was at the top. But this is the penultimate episode of the F1 update, meaning the second last.
Okay. I was
we're gonna do one more, but it'll kind of be the F1 recap, I guess, of the season, not necessarily the F1 update. So yeah, it's the penultimate. I've always wanted to use that word in a sentence, and I was able to tonight.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'm going to give you a top 10 list of the championship here. I talked about it again last 2 weeks. Hamilton already won the championship 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah. Now in USA. So he had 387 points to win the championship. Bottas with 314 in second. 260 for Max Verstappen in third place. 249 for Leclerc in fourth. 230 in fifth place for Vettel, so that's both the Ferraris. Moving to sixth place, you have Gasly with 95, as well as Sainz, and I guess tied for sixth as well, seventh, whatever you want to call it, with 95 points. Eighth place would be 84 points for Alexander Albon, who had a good weekend last. We talked about it with his unfortunate, mishap with Lewis. Number 9, P9, I guess, would be 54 points for Ricardo. And in 10th place, I don't want to go through all 20 of them because I just feel like it's not necessary. And this isn't an F1 podcast. And 10 places are the only places they get points in a race anyway. You only get points if you finish in the top 10. So this makes sense. And 10 being 46 points for Sergio Perez. Amazing year, man. It's crazy to think, we'll talk more about it in few coming weeks, but I can't believe I did this for every race.
Yeah.
Isn't that weak? Like, it flew by.
It's just become so much a part of it that not until you say it, I didn't really take it in. You know what I mean?
The first, because I've went back now, and I'll show you off air, but I went back and I want to update the YouTube and put the timestamps for all the F1 updates, because some of them are only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And some of them are 45, but I went back and kind of got the time codes for all of them, and I went back to the original. Yeah, it was 29. Episode 29 was the first time I had done the F1 update with Tanner here.
Crazy.
No sound.
Yeah.
And it was literally just me kind of saying, oh yeah, Bottas won the race. Excuse me, geez. And it was the first race of the year, and I'm probably going to do an F1 update throughout the season. Here we are 21 races later. 10 months almost, I guess, 9 months later, and it's the final race of the season, the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. The sun setting on the season. I think, I don't know if I've talked to you about this before, but this is like one of the coolest things as far as visually in F1. And this is the last race of the season, so it's kind of, they call it, the sun setting on the season. But this is the only race that the race starts completely light and then finishes completely dark.
Nice.
So, again, the sun is now setting on the race. It's setting on the season. It's the final race of the season. It's just, one of those cool little things.
Very fitting, right?
Like the Singapore race that's outside too, but this is also like I said, it's in Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit. It's a $1.3 billion track. That's how much the government, the Emirates, United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi, I don't know how it all works over there, but that's how they funded this circuit with $1.3 billion. So I'll get into a bit of the track stats. I'll maybe give you a little bit of a preview of some of my thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. But 55 laps, 5.5 kilometers. It was first held in 2009. There's been 10 races so far at this track, obviously, this being the 11th. It's crazy to think that there's already been 11 years. I mean, by no means did I watch all of them, but I remember when my dad was, more of the one that was watching Formula One, not as much myself, and him talking to me about this being one of his favorite tracks, and he's always enjoyed this track. So shout out to him, and shout out to it being 11 years old this year. But like I said, 55 laps, 5.5 kilometers, 21 turns. The lap record is a 1:42.79 from Vettel in 2009. That's very surprising. Normally we see lap times kind of from the previous year or the year before that, not 11 years old. So obviously something about these newer cars and in the races, they can't go as fast as that car could go in the race. Because I think I've mentioned to you before that the lap times that I mentioned on this show as far as track record is always set in a race rather than outside, like in qualifying, let's say. I've talked about it before, but it's Herman Tilke or Tilke. I gotta figure out how to fucking say that. I said it last time. I think I had trouble too. It's a Hillman Tilker circuit. This is the guy who designed the layout of the circuit. He's known for making a lot of F1 tracks, some really good and a lot maybe not so good. But the capacity, I was finding different online, different numbers. So I found 41,093, and I also found 60,000. So let's say that the capacity is somewhere between 41,000 and 60,000 to be safe. So a small random little thing is they have the blue outline on the outside of this track. It's like a 2 foot long. It's just painted, but it looks really cool and visually different than any other racetrack. Very appealing to the eye. This point here, I thought this was super cool when I found this out. The pavement, essentially, it's called gray wackle. Essentially what the tarmac is made out of was shipped in from England to Abu Dhabi, and then they made the track out of this stuff that was from England, shipped over. I don't know how they get it, obviously in planes, but I mean, whether it's a gravel substance on the way there, I don't know. But I thought that was pretty cool that they're shipping this, gravel dirt essentially across the world to Abu Dhabi to make that track. And I think they did the same thing in Bahrain, which I wouldn't have given the track stats that far back in the F1 updates. But yeah, sunset on the season, like I said, my dad's favorite track, very cool layout. One of the more fun tracks to drive in the video game as far as sim racing goes. Yeah. It doesn't always produce the best races of the season, but with the whole sunsetting and it always being the last race of the year, whether the championship's wrapped up or not, usually when the championship's wrapped up, the race ends up being a little bit better because guys are kind of, it doesn't matter now. Yeah, we don't need to save our engines. We don't need to save parts, this and that. We can kind of just, balls to the wall and go, race it out. But then again, it doesn't have the best layout of track either. So sometimes the racing isn't the best, but there's a lot of different variations too. So it's not that they use those, but I just mean I don't want to talk bad about the track because it can be good. Other little thing, I've been kind of doing this as well throughout the weeks, just other racing series that go there. The World Triathlon Series, which I had never heard of, races there. So they do the triathlon around the track, I guess. Yeah, different. Shout out to Will. The V8 supercars are there. They also do some drag racing. And then I guess the closest thing you can get to Formula 1, the Formula 2 season concludes this weekend at this track as well, which I guess small news from Formula 2. We had Nicholas Latifi sign officially as of today when we're recording this. He is going to be driving with Williams in the 2020 season. The reason that is so significant to us here in the Pro Wrestling Lookback and the F1 update is this is another Canadian in F1. We now have 2 Canadians in the sport, 20 drivers, 20 of the best drivers in the world, 2 of them being Canadian, maybe one of them not being one of the best in the world, but either way, he's there anyway. It doesn't matter. So I don't know, significant stat, and I'm curious to see how much this is not talked about in sports media in Canada, since we seem to not give a fuck about Formula 1. But, when there's a Canadian that goes into the second round of a tennis tournament, you best believe everybody knows about it. But I don't know. I'm curious if because we seen it 2 years ago with Lance Stroll coming into Formula 1 and the lack of, I thought there was going to be more coverage around Formula 1 because, we have a Canadian in the sport now. The same, like I said, with tennis, seems to be anytime there's a Canadian tennis star, it's spotlight. But I don't know. I'm very interested to see if Nicholas Latifi does well and how he stacks up against George Russell, because this is a guy who, won Formula 2, I believe, in 2018, and he's just a amazing driver, and he's kind of the guy that should be going to Mercedes eventually whenever Bottas or Lewis or, the next seat at Mercedes, ideally for a young driver, would be for this George Russell guy. So to see Nicholas go up against him in the same car, if he can beat George Russell, then that does nothing but good things for his career. So yeah, that's all the track stats for the race this weekend. Only other little thing I wanted to say when I was talking about the race being not so entertaining was this was one of the races that, like, when I got back into F1 in 2016, I watched the final 4 races of the year, and this was the one when I watched Nico Rosberg win the championship. So it was, I would say, part of the reason I got back into Formula 1, because this season that I was watching went down to the last race of the season. It wasn't like this season or last season or even the season prior to that where Lewis, or, well, in all of those cases, Lewis, but the driver has wrapped up the championship 3 or 4 races before the season is over. That year in 2016, it went down to the final race, and it was the 2 guys battling it out in that final race.
That's crazy.
It was awesome, and like I said, I think that's what pulled me in.
Oh yeah,
a little bit, and it was wild, like so much to the point where Lewis was in first, and Lewis was slowing down to slow down Rosberg, so then somebody could maybe pass Rosberg, because Lewis, long story, but he couldn't win the championship by just winning. He needed Rosberg to finish lower than second, or else Rosberg would have won the championship. So, spoilers, but Rosberg won the championship. It was an awesome year, and I'm looking forward to obviously this race this weekend. I should be able to watch everything on time, and shout out to Phil and Will. We'll talk about all the results and all the happenings of Abu Dhabi, and let's go Mercedes. I hope they can pull this one off. And I mean, I'm cheering for everybody, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind to see Lewis win in the final race of the year in Abu Dhabi. But that's it. Like I said, we'll be back next week with the extended F1 update, but that's it for the F1 update this week. I was waiting for your little sound there in between, but no, I don't even remember at this point. I know you said something 2 weeks ago in between the. I think it was the sounds there. But
They'll get some.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys checking out the Roundtable. This has been episode 64 of the Roundtable. And if you don't already, go hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at PW LookBack on both of those. Like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. Teespring.com/Pro Wrestling LookBack is where you can get t-shirts, mugs, all that good stuff. Send us an email if you want, prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com. Hit up iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, Google Play. Hit the 5 stars. Hit subscribe. Like I always say, leave us a comment, preferably a good one, but I want to know what you think of the show. So if you don't like it, tell me. Maybe just send me a personal DM. Maybe don't leave a comment. But either way, I want to know what you think of the show. And we appreciate anybody who's listened to the show from day one, whether it was back in January of 2018 or it's now in November of 2019. We thank you. So, my Twitter is at Salsa, SCELSA.
Mine is at JustDon44.
At PW LookBack is the main one. And don't forget to check out the sponsor at Pure Oxide Premium CBD Oils. You can get at them, pureoxide.com. They ship worldwide, multiple different products on their website. No GMOs, no THC, lab tested, contests regularly, hundreds of positive reviews, joint pain, anxiety. Check them out. I talk about it every week, guys, at Pure Oxide CBD, pureoxide.com. Like I said, this is the Roundtable, episode 64. I'm Nick. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate all the downloads and all the listens.
And I'm Don, telling you to stay classy.